If you get down below the canopy, you get, here we got some, this is just some wild dandelion. Here's some fillery. They're just different varieties, but you want to have different varieties because if something bad happens to one, then you've got others to take its place. The big thing that we've seen here this year is in the broadleafs, because broadleafs, legumes, clovers, filleries require more water. We didn't have that this year. This grass, although it looks pretty tall, and it is not bad, but kind of come into these areas where it's been really mowed down. See, you've got this area here was more predominantly broadleaf. You've got some of the clovers here, and then they kind of spread into here where this is a little bit taller. But see, what I'm talking about with the drought issue is this is broadleaf, required more water, didn't get it.
Yeah.
So it's thinned out, and it's just one of those things. On the, where'd those dogs go? Oh, they're over there. Help! Tag! Move! Help! I don't like them chasing the cattle unless I tell them to.
They were just kind of stalking.
Yeah, that's fine. Down. Down. Do me a favor. Don't pet him yet.
All right.
Down.
He's got to earn that pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to earn it from me.
There you go.
Anyway, that's okay. You wouldn't have known that. But and the other thing is, on looking at some of these taller grands, the taller annuals, when you get, it doesn't look terrible when you look at it from this sense, but then what you got to do is you got to go up and you got to look down. And that's where really the cost of drought is, because if you look at the bare earth here, this really should be covered over. But those broadleafs, those legumes that are low growing, that are going to be closer to the ground, you're not getting those because they require a lot more water. But then, that's been the most frustrating thing, honestly, for us this year, is you can't.
Is there like a little creek coming through here usually?
We just passed
Yeah,
it.
I mean, there was the creek that you go through, it's a spring fed, and it'll go all year. This one is just a draw, and it'll run, during a rainstorm, and then it'll be done. Well, what I was saying is, one of the most frustrating things is all the good management and all the hard work in the world won't make it rain.
Right.
There's just not a lot you can do. And it's, we were up here feeding grass hay and stuff all through December. We didn't stop until mid-March. And this is our third year of drought. And so, we were coming up here in December and it's dust flying and there isn't a blade of green grass to be found anywhere. And it was just like depressing is probably the only word that really is suitable for it. So, but anyway, but part of, you guys want the growth part of the tour, part of grassland management is
The pies.
and why this is important. Here, you kind of seeing that, and what you get in a healthy grassland. This one's a little bit older, but as you can see here, is look at all these holes and everything in there. Okay, that's bugs. That's bugs.
Yeah.
That's beetles, gnats and flies, and those kind of things. This is more of a moisture. When she put it out, you can tell it was a lot moister out here than say like this one, where it's a lot drier, where it's a lot more harder form. And that one doesn't have as much insect activity in it. There's another bad thing about drought. Now when those insects, they go through there, and I mean it's, remind me to wash that before I cut my meat with it.
Oh, we will.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cut my meat with it. But what happens is, okay, so these bugs are going to work into this, and here's where the thing works. Those girls eat this grass, they put this back down.
Yeah.
Then what happens is you've got the bugs that come in, and you've got, well, first the birds will come through here, and they'll scratch it out, and they'll spread it out, and they'll eat whatever bugs and grubs or whatever else is in there. And then the bugs then move out and they bring that stuff. Do you see a lot of beetles around? Because they live underground. They're going down into the soil. So they're taking those nutrients, those nitrates, all that stuff, and they're moving that back down into the program. Now that's why you want to have like biodiversity.
Yeah.
That's why something like this from a natural standpoint is a lot healthier than say driving by a wheat field. right? Where a wheat field is maybe taller and looks great and green and everything else, but those nitrates were all put on. Those pesticides are all put on.
So you're not
those
adding
herbicides,
anything.
We're not doing any of that stuff. This is our. So I always say commercial fertilizer, because we already have a ton of natural fertilizer.
Yeah.
And they spread that out.
So you don't add to it in any way, even seed or anything like that?
We have experimented with that in the past, where we feed a loose mineral. It's a foothill mineral, high magnesium, which it keeps cattle from bloating and everything else. Just mineral supplement like anything else. We have experimented with mixing clover seeds and different seeds into that mineral, and then the cattle disperse that on their own as they pass it. I don't know how that works. I might have wasted a couple $100 on it. But then again, when we did that 2 years ago. Again, it was another dry year, so it's really hard to say, well, did we get an impact of it, the next year or not? This, where you're standing now, burned 2 years ago, and that was why we did it. It's like, all right, well, those cattle are still going to be going into that impacted, burned area. Let's, rather than just all, brome grass or all oats or anything like that come through, let's get some beneficials coming in and get some, clovers. We mixed in, it was what's called an escalon mix. It was just a pasture seed mix, which is orchard grass, this purple clover, some other different varieties, trefoil. Trefoil I haven't seen trefoil at all, so I don't know if that worked at all. But,
But you might need more water for the
no shots, no
trefoil.
birds, right? Right.
No shots, no birds.
Right.
Right. Yeah. We tried it out and it maybe worked. But yeah, what Wayne Gretzky said, you miss all the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
So anyway.